करोड़ों देशभक्तों का था।
To the millions of the public, this dream has now come true. In Jammu, Kashmir, and Ladakh, a new era has begun. Now all the citizens of the country have their rights, and they will practice their rights. I am going to say to the people and my countrymen, I congratulate you.
Well, here's how we got here. The deployment of thousands of soldiers in Indian-administered Kashmir on Sunday caused alarm. So did the imposition of a curfew and the arrests of high-profile leaders. On Monday, India's parliament voted to revoke the special status of Indian-administered Kashmir, removing its autonomy over residency and property rights. Well, India's government has justified the change, saying it wants the state of Jammu and Kashmir to be part of the Indian Union and to be put on the same level as the rest of the country. But some Kashmiris in the majority Muslim territory fear it's a tactic to grant non-Kashmiris in the region greater say. We have a team of reporters live for you this hour. Kamal Hyder is in Islamabad with comments from Pakistan's foreign minister. But let's begin in New Delhi and Priyanka Gupta. So we heard quite an attempt to evoke a very romantic image of the future of Jammu and Kashmir in that speech. Right, Priyanka?
That's correct, Sabi. In fact, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been speaking. It's been almost 30 minutes since his much-anticipated speech began, where he was expected to lay down all the plans that he has for the disputed region of Kashmir. And he's done just that. He's come up with a bouquet of promises, from economic opportunities to opening the region for tourism and more jobs for people, and also inviting Bollywood producers to come and make films. He's hailed it as a historic decision and said and blamed Article 370 and 35A, the two constitutional provisions which the government of India revoked on Monday, and also split the region, and which was finalized by a resounding vote in the two houses of the parliament, with a majority of MPs supporting the government's decision as a huge decision, invoking the national leaders like Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, and also many leaders in the past talking about how their dream of a unified country has finally come to fruition. But the fact of the matter is, Sami, we were wondering when exactly is he going to speak to the Kashmiris, and if at all Kashmiris on the ground can actually listen to what he's saying, because they're right now under a severe security crackdown. They don't have access to phone lines, they don't have access to television channels, they don't have access to basic amenities like food and medicines. Hospitals are open, emergency services are there, but people have no way of communicating with the doctors and getting the basic amenities that they need. There are security checkpoints and blockades at every corner of, at least for Srinagar, which is the largest city in the Indian-administered Kashmir. We are also getting reports from the Indian media that around 70 what the Indian government calls terrorists and pro-Pakistan separatists have been moved on two choppers, on two planes by the Indian Air Force from Indian-administered Kashmir to Agra, close to the capital Delhi, over the past couple of hours. About more than 500 political party workers and politicians have been arrested, including two former chief ministers. The Indian government here, many say, has managed to sideline or alienate even the most mainstream political parties in Kashmir who have been under house arrest. There's a situation, there's a general sense of fear and anxiety among Kashmiris here in the capital, who've been trying to get in touch with their loved ones. There's also the major festivals, Eid al-Adha, which is the most important, one of the most important festivals in the Islamic calendar, which is coming up, and there are Friday prayers tomorrow. But none of the Kashmiri families that we have spoken to have been able to get in touch with their loved ones. So there is fear and anxiety among the Kashmiris outside the Indian-administered Kashmir, and also severe security restrictions that are put in place in the Kashmir Valley and also especially in Srinagar. But we are also hearing reports of more restrictions being put in 3 areas in Ladakh. So while Prime Minister Narendra Modi has come out with those promises, there is very little change on the ground, as far as we can say.
All right, thanks. Thank Priyanka Gupta there from New Delhi. Let's continue this, though, now, and let's get some reaction out of Pakistan with Kamal Hyder. He's live for us in Islamabad. If Islamabad was looking for any kind of conciliatory tone there from the Indian Prime Minister, did it get it?
Well, it will definitely not be seen that way here in Pakistan. In fact, people have been accusing Modi of encouraging the ultra-nationalist agenda of the Bharatiya Janata Party. The Pakistani foreign minister was addressing a press conference. He said, you send in 90,000 troops, make everybody a virtual prisoner in their home, and then you say this is for welfare. So big question marks. He was also downplaying the fear that Pakistan was going to go for any military retaliation. Let's hear in on what he said at that press conference.
Pakistan is looking at political, diplomatic and legal options. हमारी हिकमत अमली ये है. We are not looking at a military option. We are not.
So that is what the foreign minister was saying, but that is not reflective of the ground reality, especially after Modi's speech. There will be a strong reaction to that as well. And Pakistani military forces already on red alert. What the foreign minister also said in that press conference was that India was going to go for another false flag operation like the one in Pulwama, which India blamed on Pakistan and Pakistan denied, and then the two countries literally came to blows. So Pakistan will not take this kindly or lightly, and of course will continue with the diplomatic offensive. But at the same time, the Prime Minister has told the military forces to stay in a maximum state of vigilance in order to thwart any attempts by India. So although Modi promising all kinds of goodies to the Indian population in Kashmir who are under house arrest, not everybody there is likely to buy it.
Kamal, what are some of those next diplomatic and legal steps that Pakistan is considering?
Well, if you look at it, Pakistan is saying that India has gone against a treaty. The treaty was signed between India and Pakistan in 1972. There is also grave concern because Mr. Modi has threatened to do away with yet another treaty, and that is the water distribution treaty. Narendra Modi is saying that he will stop Pakistan's water. He's threatened to divert an entire river, the river Chenab. So if you look at the body language, if you look at the actions on the ground, it appears that it will do little to reduce tensions. On the contrary, it appears that this is going to snowball into something really big, because Pakistanis are very angry about the fact that India has done this unilaterally in total violation of not just the United Nations Charter, but also the bilateral agreements between these two nuclear-armed nations.
All right, Kamal Hyder there, live from Islamabad.